Hello and welcome to another episode of Prime Time, where it is my endeavor to have insightful conversations with inspiring youngsters. This second episode, I'm absolutely thrilled to share, is about Dino Dhankhar, a student based out of Jaipur, a high school student who happens to be India's youngest professional polo player. And I'm delighted that he's agreed to join us. I'm delighted that he's agreed to share his story, which will hopefully inspire many, many other youngsters as well as parents. So let's get started right away. Welcome to the show, Dino.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
How are you doing?
I'm good, sir. Hope
All
you're
right.
doing well.
So I'm good. So Dino, for our viewers, without me saying much, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what school you're in, what grade you're in, etc.
So, hi guys. My name is Dino Dhankhar, and I belong from Jaipur only. And like the school in which I go is JPIS in Mahapura. And the basically my biggest and only passion in my life is playing polo. Like I started at a really young age, so then went forward, met really new people, and more getting into it. So I became a professional polo player, and due to God grace and my coaches, I became the first youngest professional polo player in India for playing international matches as well as the tournaments taking place in Jaipur, Delhi, and Jodhpur, etc.
That's absolutely wonderful, Dino. Now, let me take you back a little bit to your slightly younger days.
Yeah.
How did this interest in polo develop?
So it was a really big, like a wonderful journey. But the day which it happened, I was 5 years old, and I was coming back from my village. So luckily there was a traffic jam, and I saw this place under like near my house only. So near Mahapura. So this place had like 50, 60 horses, people playing polo, and some children riding horses in the arena, and various things. So I just asked my dad to like turn around the vehicle and just like see what's happening. So the coach there, I just had a word with him. I got really like I was a big fan of horses, the movies like this. So I really wanted to do horse riding. So like I joined at age of 5. Then I continued. I did horse riding for like more than 10 years, because polo is not an easy game. So you need a build, height, muscles, like power in your hand. So like I did.
Let me quickly interrupt you, if I may, because
Yeah,
I have a crucial question I need to ask you. So, when
yeah.
you were about 5 and you became interested in horses and in horse riding,
Hmm.
that's, to a lot of parents, that would seem a bit dangerous, and they
Yeah,
would say,
yeah,
"No way are you
of course,
getting onto a
of course.
horse." So,
Yeah.
did it require you to convince your parents, or were they okay with it when you said?
Nah, my parents wanted to make me tough, like not a children living in a shell. So they
Okay,
really respected my passion towards the sport, and I
okay.
was really sincere towards it. Like you'd ask me to get up in the morning at 6, I won't. But it's about polo or horse riding, I'll not sleep only. It's the thing. So they really allowed me to do this, and luckily the coach, Mr. Savai Singh, like he's a wonderful coach. He only trained me for my last 10, 15 years. So then I started horse riding for a couple of like years. Then I got better and better and better. I really thought of playing polo at age of 12, 13, but finally at age of 14, I got this chance to play polo, because before that my sir didn't recommended me to play, as I was like quite young to get mount on a horse and like just flat out race and stakes and everything. So like
Right.
8, 10 years only I did riding. I got better because the key base of playing polo is having a good horse riding. Because
Right.
polo,
Absolutely.
you can learn polo in 2 weeks,
Sure.
nothing much. But for that, you need a absolutely perfect riding. You need a
Right.
proper shape. You know how to handle a horse properly. Otherwise,
But
you can't.
I have another question here. So you
Yes,
did
sir.
horse riding for a few years. That's
Yeah,
how your interest began.
of
So,
course.
obviously after getting into horse riding, with horse riding, you can do several things. So how come polo?
Yeah.
Polo was
So I
specifically in
had
which places you were?
yeah, so I had really various options. Like you can go into dressage, you can go into racing, You can go into jumping, you can go into pole. So one of my friend used to do dressage only. He was 2 year elder than me. So what happened? I saw each and everything, but like dressage, you just need to clear the hurdles from the horse. And basically, in dressage, 99% of the thing is done by horse because it's a trained horse who know how to jump. So you only need to put a like have a good grip on the horse so you don't fall. Racing is another thing. If you have a good grip, the horse will automatically run. But
Right.
polo is only a sport in horse riding which is a combination of mind, spirit, team spirit, because in dressage racing you are alone, you're presenting
Right.
yourself only. So in polo, like hard work, it's risky, it's the world's most risky game, as you can if you search on Google only. So this thing like was quite interesting. And also like dressage and racing are not so popular in India, like comparing with polo.
Okay.
This
And
was interesting going polo.
so how long have you been playing professionally now?
Professionally, I started at age of 14. I played few exhibition games. So when I was 15, I started playing professionally, like almost 2 years back. So that was my time. I got a chance to play in Jaipur only. It was a 8 tournament. So I got a chance to play that. Then I performed well. So in polo, if you perform well and if you have good horses, like you get chances further and further and further. That's why.
Right. That's like any other team sport, I suppose. But when you started playing professionally, there must have been some challenges that you faced. Can you talk
Of
about
course,
some of them?
of course. In starting, I was not able to control horses well because before I used to do play polo on a small ground compared to the professional ones. I used to only ride. It was a ground of like 1,000 by 500 feet. It's quite challenging to control a horse. I didn't had that much power in my hands, and I was like quite nervous. Like when I played my first tournament, I had like three players from out of India playing professionally from last 20-25 years, and the
Right.
closest player in my team was like 15 years elder than me. So I was so young, so I was like quite scared hitting the ball. First off, like we have four chukkers, seven chukkers each minute. I was not able to touch the ball in first three chukkers only.
Okay.
So it was quite challenging, and like controlling the horse is like also quite challenging in this because it's such a big ground. The horse just wants to run. That's why it
It's
was
a
quite.
funny situation when things like these happen, right? When you finally debut in your dream sport or in your
Yeah.
life's passion, and on the one hand there's so much excitement, or on the other hand there's equal amount of nervousness. So how do you deal with that initial disappointment and nervousness?
For I like my mom dad from starting they told me like every storm is not to like break you or to demotivate you. So in starting, what I thought like it was a challenge, it was a storm for me. Ki how to overcome these things. I'm like it's just a beginning, and then they like my like supporters told me you're so young, you are like just playing in this ground is that a big thing. So from this I started getting motivated, and I thought this is like not to demotivate me. This is a thing which will push me forward and make me better. So by this, like I kept practicing because at my ground I used to play really nice. Like I only used to score goals and everything, but when you play with such professionals at such
Right.
ground and the horsepower, it's really
Yeah.
different.
Right.
So I thought like how I play on my ground, I can surely play on the professional grounds as well.
So tell us, for those of us who don't know the sport very well or aren't very familiar with polo, does somebody like you who's now playing professionally on the circuit have your own fixed one or two horses, or it depends on what
No, no,
team
no.
you're playing
Sir,
for?
like
And
firstly, yeah, sorry, sir. Like firstly, this sport was originated in like India only, Manipur, in 1975. If you 1875, I'm sorry. So this was a sport played by Indians, India's king, and that's why it's called the sport of kings only.
sure.
So right now, this is a professional sport played in Argentina. That's the like mecca of polo. There in polo, what's basically is you need a big ground of 1,000 by 500 feet. There are four players in each team. So and one player need 8 to 10 horses in a game. That's
I see.
compulsory because they are like in India the small tournaments. Like the tournaments are on different goals. Like each player is given a different ranking. It starts from -2, goes till 10. So the better you are, you get the ranking. So like four players combine and make their ranking to a particular goal. Like it's if a 6 goal tournament, so it will be a 4 goal player, then three 2-0 handicaps and 1-2 handicap. So it's like this.
Okay.
The tournament goes till like 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 in India. In out of India, it's played like 40 goals. Four top players
Okay.
take in one team.
I
So
see.
how you like the better and better you get, the ranking increases. And in polo, it's quite challenging. You have to maintain the ranking. If you don't perform or you don't get to play, the ranking automatically decreases.
Right.
So like you make a team, then a per player you need 8 to 10 horses because there are 4 rounds. In polo we say 4 chakkers. In 4 chakkers, one chakkar consists of 3 chakkers consist of 7 minutes 30 seconds, and the last chakkar is of 7 minutes. So in each 3.5 minute you need to change a horse. Oh, before that.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so quite a lot of investment. Okay, and again, for somebody young who wants to explore getting into polo, how can that person go about it? How do you go about finding a coach? How do you get training?
So first thing to learn in polo to love your horse or the animal. So because 85% of the role also play in polo is played by animal. If he'll not run, you can't do anything. If you are a great player, if you have a slow horse compared to other, you can't reach out to him. But if you are like zero class player, and you have a great horse, then also you can't do anything. First, to
Sure.
love your horse and get connected to him. Secondly, don't think about polo. Just start and focus on horse riding. The moment you'll realize when the horse like there are two situations. One, you are controlling the horse. Second, the horse is controlling you. So like the day when you are like able to judge, you are controlling the horse. You will get a very good rider, and then you can think about polo. Before that, no. Like in polo, it's quite risky. Like if you fall and something happens, like something also happens, so it's quite risky because if you are running, 7 more horses are running, so that's a quite challenging job. So
Right.
until and
So
unless you're good
I
in
understand that. Let's say that a youngster has become very, very proficient at horse riding and
Mm,
then wants to explore polo. Where
yeah.
can he or she
So
go and find a coach and all that? What's the process?
So, talking in Jaipur, there are like two, three quite good polo academies in Hapura. The main Rambagh Polo Ground has many coaches to coach you,
Okay.
and they can teach you. And like my journey, what I have seen in all the senior players have been very kind to me. Like they don't hesitate to teach you. They don't hesitate to tell you. Like they are quite motivating and supportive, and they give
Okay.
you chance. Like in till 10 goals, so they don't only play, they just sit, they stay back and they just pass you ball, you do everything. So by this
Right.
only, so you get. And what I suggest, stay to the coach from which you have learned horse riding, because he knows
Okay.
everything about you. A
Right.
horse riding coach always know everything about polo.
Okay. Okay. All
So if
right.
you
Great.
get, like if you're good in riding, so it means you have taken time, and this means you have been to a certain coach. So don't shuffle ki I'll shift to him, to her, like something like that. Just stay
Correct.
connected
Correct.
to him.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. Okay, now I want to bring you a little bit towards the situation that the entire world has been facing for about a year and a half now, which, of course, as we all know, is the COVID pandemic.
Hmm.
How have you managed to? Have you been able to play much during the past year and a half?
Yeah, so like polo is a sport in which like there's not a big crowd
Hmm.
in India, especially in India. So like I was able to play till last month,
Okay,
around 11th of last month only. But after
okay,
that, the situation got really worse, and it was like bit dangerous. And there was like various curfews and like I live in
sure,
Mansoor, so it's a
right,
quite close, like it's a 15 minutes drive from my home. So, but we
right,
need another place to play. So
sure,
like people coming from C scheme and like for civil line, so like they were not able to come. I really went and started practicing on my own only, in like playing 3 4 horses a day. But after that also the strictness increased, and as like I have my grandfather and grandmother living in my house only, so it was a bit risky. I was thinking, so I just stepped back for a few times.
Right.
We also like after like April, the polo season is over. In India, it only takes place from August to April. So after that, everything
Okay.
is gone. Yeah, that's fine.
Right, right, right. Okay, well, to conclude the interview, I must ask you something slightly away from polo, which is that now that there is again, COVID increasing and a lockdown, and we're all held up at home, and it's quite frustrating. What do you do personally to keep yourself sane and motivated and feeling normal? And what would you advise people your age, other youngsters, that they can do during this
So
time?
really, like people say, read books, do this, don't watch phone. It's like really not gonna work because you're so frustrating. You'll not be willing to do that. Best thing is to like talk to your family, play games with them. Like I started cooking with my mom. I really liked it, so like made some things, and that really helped me in my late night munching. So I used to make those things. Then I really talk to my friends, talk to your friends, like crack jokes with them, talk to them, or watch Netflix. Really nice. I really follow a motivating person, Darman, on YouTube.
Okay.
So I really love his videos. So like follow a particular YouTuber or a motivational speaker. You can follow, and he really like he's really active on social media, posting like short 7-8 minutes videos, blogs, and paragraphs, something motivating, and making content on various things only. So I really follow him. I watch his videos daily, almost, yeah, daily only. Then I play with my sister. I have a small sister. If you have a small sibling, give time to him or her. So that's the best thing. Or
So I think even my previous guest said, and I think if I interpret you correctly, what you're saying is that communicate with your family, spend time with them is a big part
of
of
course,
how
of
you
course,
can remain sane and happy. Okay. All right. Well, it's been absolutely wonderful chatting with you, Dino. I hope a
thank you
lot
so
of
much.
people watch this video and feel inspired listening to you and your journey and your story. And I want to personally congratulate you on where you've reached. It's really, really
Thank you,
commendable.
thank you,
So thank you very much for sparing
thank
the
you so
time
much.
and being here.
Thank you
Take
so much.
care of yourself.
And
Stay
I
safe.
just wanted to say one thing. Like
Yes.
if you follow any sport or anything, any like if you are into dance, if you're into academics, if you're into sports, like if you put 10% efforts, and if you are willing to have 100% results, it can't take place. Before I used to do these things only in my like life, then I realized you can't put 10% effort and get 100% results. For achieving, you need to 100% efforts, and then you will get 100% results for sure. That's it.
Well
Thank you so
said.
much.
Well said. You can't. There is no shortcut to hard work. It's
Yes,
it's
sir.
all or nothing. Yes, quite right. That's something to keep in mind as an end message as we conclude. So
I
thank you
really
very
faced
much.
various challenges. I fell
Yeah,
from
yeah.
horse and everything happened, but it's just a
Right.
part of the game.
Of course, you can't be demotivated by those things.
Person. Thank you so much,
Great.
sir, for giving me this chance.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Not at all. It was my pleasure. And take care and stay safe.
Thank you, sir. Same to you. Take care, sir.